7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
She goes to weather beautifully. How much is Luke asking?
Around 14,000.
Too much.
That's only what he's asking. The family wanted to clear up the estate quickly, and he offered to help. He advertised and this buyer rang up. At least, we hope it's a buyer.
He'll get 11 if he's lucky. Fiberglass, is it?
I don't know.
What's Luke's take?
Take?
Percentage.
Oh, he can keep half of what he gets over a certain figure.
Local buyer?
Not really, Mr. Yeoman. He says he lived in the village when he was a boy, then moved away. But nobody seems to know him.
I insisted on signing the checks. I know that Luke doesn't like it, but I insisted. Either to sign, the bank manager said. Both, I said. Let him get the loan over first, and then we'll give him his head. And now this item here, £35 advertising. He doesn't advertise. Doesn't say yacht.
Well, advertising is tax deductible.
Hotel advertising in the hotel business is not yachts. Yeoman, you said, this buyer. You're sure it's Yeoman?
Yes, Auntie Nan, sure.
Well, it's not a Welsh name. And it's not from the other side either. Let's hope he's not an income tax inspector. Now then, tell Luke I queried the advertising. I'll put a question mark here. And then if I put a query, it shows where I stand.
You mean it lets you out?
No. Half the advertising expense is mine. But I wonder if I get half of what he's expecting to make on the yacht. Tell him I mentioned it, will you?
Yes, Auntie Nance.
I can't believe I've got you in here. Mother told me before she died. Nab him, she said. And I've nabbed you. Oh, do sit down. Mother used to go to the window every time she heard the lifeboat maroons go off. And she always knew she'd see you.
Me?
Oh, yes. She remembered you running on foot and then later when you had a bicycle. Before she died, she made me promise. Something for the boys. That's what she said.
Something for the boys?
Oh, she thought of everything as a kind of Christmas box. Smokes for the boys, she said once. My father was rescued, you know, during the war.
I don't quite follow you, miss.
Nab him. Well, I've nabbed you, and what I want is your advice.
On what?
Well, I suppose you could call it a legacy. Was what she wanted, but never got around to doing it. I was sure you'd have some useful suggestions.
Legacy? Well,
It was Mother's wish.
For me?
For the lifeboatman.
Oh, smokes for the boys. How much did you, she, have in mind?
Well, I hoped you'd think it was rather a lot.
When he comes in, I want you behind the bar.
He won't decide today. A few weeks, he said. I mean, he's looking at other boats.
You make sure you're behind the bar.
Well, she didn't miss much, as usual. You won't be on your own till you've repaid every penny you've borrowed. And it's not just the money. She wants to keep involved. Keep a hold on us. You, anyway.
Well, she signed everything.
Oh, but she queried the advertising expense on the yacht. That's not tax deductible.
She doesn't miss a bloody thing.
You don't leave the sails on board?
No, nothing else movable. Set up the soles of your shoes. Well, you've got enough in here, haven't you?
Well, I've been caught short on the Bristol Channel before. And what do you think of her yourself? Worth 11,000?
Well, I dare say it'll come down.
You'll have to. She's been sunk once, hasn't she? I noticed the tide mark around the cabin.
Well, I wouldn't know about that.
Now, this is where most accidents occur, you know, leaving a vessel. After you. And next time we'll try the engine. And I think it'd be a good idea if you wore a life jacket. Right, let's go.
I don't want Billy John hanging about here if he brings him in with him.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, I think it would be better if he didn't stay. That's what it means.
Billy John knows about boats. You don't.
Billy John.
Why don't you say what you mean?
Well, boats are like everything else. They have a market value. And with deals, fools can get in the way. I don't want it too convivial. If Billy John hangs on, give him the nod.
The nod.
You know very well what I mean. No need for either of us to get our feet wet. Just give him the wink if he looks like lingering.
Coming in for a pint?
Well, I never say no to a pint.
Oh, here. I mustn't lose this.
I can't find anything, Harry. The ECG's still normal?
These pains are not normal, though, are they?
Look, it's not your heart, and it's not a hernia. Sometimes a hiatus hernia mimics heart pains. I think you're just a bit overweight, that's all.
It's not only that. You know I'm second coxswain of the lifeboat.
Yes, of course.
Well, it's a weight on me. I sometimes think that I'm just not going to be up to it one night.
Why not?
I don't want to let anybody down. Jack Tustin, the coxswain, especially.
All I can tell you is your heart's all right.
I was wondering, could you give me a certificate?
For what?
For the pains.
Look, Harry, you've been examined 3 times. You've had every test there is. Whatever's causing them, I can't find it.
What do you mean by that?
It's what's called a large functional element. You smoke?
Yes.
You drink?
I'm a publican.
Well, cut them out for a month or two. And you can afford to lose a couple of stone. You can't go on like a 4-cylinder engine forever, you know.
Is that all you're going to say?
What else can I say?
So anyway, the old Admiral says, "How am I doing, darling?" And the bird says, "3 knots, my sweet." 3 knots? Yes. Not young enough, not strong enough, and not having your money back.
Well, I think we could all have a little more of what that came from.
Not for me, thank you, Mr. Yeoman. I was hoping that we'd discuss one or two matters.
Mr. Yeoman doesn't want to be pushed, Luke.
A good boat will always sell herself.
Well, like a fine. But there are a few others I want to have a look at. Has she ever sunk on the moorings?
Oh, never.
Well, she did fill up once, we wanted to bail in, but it was fresh water.
Oh, I'm sure there's nothing that can't be put right at a price. I'd like another trial when I get a proper run at the engines.
Didn't you run it today?
No, somehow we didn't get round to it.
Oh, spanking breeze there was today. Old soldier's wind. Thank you.
They give you all these bloody tests and what have you, but the tests don't always work. And then they tell you you've got to give up everything. Well, that's what I've come to see you about. I don't think I should be on the lifeboat anymore.
Off the boat? Altogether? Are you sure? Is that what the doctor said?
Yes.
That's what he ordered?
Look, they don't know what causes these pains, right? The way they behave, I don't think they believe me. But I get them, and I don't want to let anybody down. Ever.
Have you had a word with the wife?
Well, that's another thing. Eve worries a lot at night, especially since that Scottish boat went down.
Well, I can understand that. Shall I have a word with her?
No, there's no need for that. Anyway, she's away for a fortnight in her sister's.
See, Harry, the way I look at it is this. You and I, the regular fellas. Now, we shouldn't quit unless we've got somebody else to take our place. It's our responsibility to get the youngsters ready for it. It's a bit different if you're on a retainer.
What do you mean?
Well, you and I and George, coxswain, second coxswain, mechanic. The moment there's a shout, we're the first to know when we're here, we got to be. The other boys, the crew, well, they do have a bit of a choice. You can always have a bit of ear trouble. They don't, but they might. Not us. Is that what's bugging you?
I'm just not feeling up to it.
I'll have a month off then and think about it.
No, Jack. I've made up my mind.
Have a word with Jeff Hanna, the secretary.
There's no point.
Well, I'll have to if you're serious. Another thing, of course. You living here on top of us and the sailors, if you're living here, you'll have to watch somebody else walk down that pier in your jacket.
I know, I've thought of that.
Look, Jeff Hanna's due down here now any minute. What am I going to tell him? Leave it for a while. Sleep on it.
It's only putting it off.
Well, there's no hurry, medically speaking, is there?
Not according to that bloody quack.
I thought so. Go on, sleep on it. Hey,
I've been chasing you. I had a pint in that pub of yours yesterday, and there was so much lipstick on the glass, I thought I was having a kiss, not a pint.
You see what I mean? Where would we be without our fans?
I'll see you, Jack.
What's up with him, then?
His wife's away, and he can't stand your breath.
I've been watching him for months. His bottle's gone, if you ask me. Hey, I got a bit of very good news. There's an old dale living near me who wants to give something to the station. Worth a few bob she is. And she promised her mother. I didn't say anything much. But she wants to leave a couple of grand. Smokes for the boys, she said.
Smokes for the boys?
Well, the old lady said it, not me. She knows we have a crew dinner. She's seen me coming over from it. It's straight up. 200 a year from now on, regular. Yeah. We'll be gasping.
You can't be serious.
Of course I'm serious. It's better than salvage.
You told her that...
I didn't tell her. She called me in off the street. It's her money.
200 quid a year?
Aye. That's interest, see?
I know it's interest. Swilling down your gut.
No. Smokes. There's a lot of temperance in the family. Smokes, she said. Smokes for the boys.
I don't understand. What about the institution?
Well, they're not having it. A lot of nuts in headquarters. Fingers like flies' legs, into everything. Us, she wants to give it to. I think her old man was pulled out of the drink in the war by Tom Grail. What are you looking at me like that for? It's her money. She can do what she likes with it.
Aided and abetted by Horace J. Morgan.
Is there something the matter with you? She could have given it to the RAF or the dog's home.
I think it's time you and me had a word. You just passed a boat back there. Where did it come from?
Pool, of course, headquarters. It's not as good as the last boat we had. That's what you mean? It's top heavy.
I don't suppose you've ever even noticed the lettering under the bow.
Yes, I have. Leicester District, if that's what you're about. But if an old lady wants to leave...
That boat was built with money collected in tin boxes in Leicester. Without voluntary contributions, we wouldn't have a boat at all, not at all. If we had to rely on money collected locally, what kind of boat do you think we'd have? Think about it. Tell me.
We wouldn't have a pram dinghy, I dare say.
He knows as much about running an institution as the man in the moon. How much does a boat cost? How many new boats do we have to have built every year? 10. And it costs 250 grand a boat. And any money that's waste, £5, £10, £200, that's money down the drain. If the secretary gets to know about this, what's he going to say? He'll think I'm as thick as you are. Now get up there a bit sharp and tell her we don't want it.
Don't want it?
Not a penny of it.
She's going to see a lawyer. I got it all fixed up.
Then get up there and use your charm. Tell her thank you very much, but we'd rather wait until the new boat comes. And could she... Give her the forms. For the institution, tell her. Right.
That's the word I like to hear.
Hello, Mr. Hannah. Hey, Horace here is about to do us a good turn. An admirer is about to leave us a legacy.
Who's the admirer and who's the admired?
She lives near a hero of the sea.
Well done. We ought to be more conscious of fundraising. I'm glad to see you're up to it, Horace.
Nip up there now and have a word with the good woman.
I can't. I just told her.
What?
What's the problem?
If you need help, have a word with Nance Grail. She'll sell sand to the Arabs. She'll listen to you.
Nance Grail?
Yeah, she's an expert at it. Go on, up there.
What is all that about?
Oh, it's something for me, private. There was something I wanted to talk to you about. We might be looking for a new second coxswain.
Harry Quentin.
He says he's sick. He says it's his missus. I think it goes deeper than that.
All I got out of him was that he lived here as a boy, then went away. He didn't say much. Billy John went out with him, but they hadn't even tried the engine.
Engine's all right, is it?
So I'm given to understand.
Who'll take him out next time?
It'll have to be somebody who knows about engines.
Well, make sure then.
It's not like a car. The check would have to be cleared before I lower the boat off the moorings.
It isn't that. I've got something at the back of my mind. I'd like to know who I'm doing business with.
It's I'm doing the business.
Here on the premises. Jointly owned, remember. Both to sign.
Someone to see you, Auntie Nance. He can give you a lift home.
I'm not ready to go yet.
Well, it's my night off, and I thought somebody else could do it for a change.
Well, it'll be no bother, Mrs. Grail. I was coming up to see you anyway.
I don't know when I've seen you in a suit, Horace Morgan.
Perhaps he's come with a proposal.
Well, if he came into my house, at least I wouldn't keep him standing without a cup of anything.
Oh, I don't want to upset anybody. Mr. Hanna suggested it. It's lifeboat business, actually.
Be confidential, then. Make sure you get everything about that boat ready next time. Everything. And try and find out more. You don't remember any yeomans living in the village, do you? When you were small?
Yeomans? No. Where do they live?
Oh, that's what this beauty forgot to find out. Now, in my mind, I can go down every street, house by house.
Yeomans. No. There was a family called Yeo who lived in Fish Lane. 2 kids, twins. One of them drowned.
Oh, that's right. The Yeos.
They were from the other side. Come over from Clovelly with all their furniture piled on the deck of a paddler. Doing a flit, we reckon.
Yo. I know. Fish Lane people. Are you sure you got the name right?
Of course I'm sure I've got the name right. Yeoman.
The father was proper Devonshire. All these and thous the family had. Boating people. Oh, I reckon if they saw one, all right. What about them?
We'll talk in the car.
Shall I leave you something cold in the plate, or will you help yourself?
Where are you going?
Out. It's what I usually do on my night off.
You going anywhere special?
No.
Well, there's nobody staying. I can come with you.
Another time. Perhaps we could go out next Friday for a meal or something. Somewhere nice?
Oh, no, Yeoman's coming to take the yacht out.
Another time, then. You tell me when it's convenient for you, your aunt, the business, and everyone else!
Hello, Billy. Everybody's dressed up tonight. I just seen Animal with my old lady. There's not a midnight funeral on, is there? Where you going?
Out on the town, boy. The wife's away.
I thought you never went further than bingo.
Old dogs can bark, you know. You'll get soaked, girl. Do you want a lift?
Oh, she's going to your place, Harry.
There's only Billy John there, and he's going to play darts.
Darts? Oh, that's all I need.
Come on, get in.
My son was involved in the rescue when your father was saved. So you'll understand why I couldn't believe my ears. Smokes for the boys. What use would cigarettes have been that night? It was the Eldon Castle, wasn't it?
Yes, he was the first engineer.
I remember the night.
There's a photograph of the ship somewhere.
A Lambert and Holt boat, carrying pit props and general cargo.
I think that...
Black as pitch it was. Not a light showing anywhere. They even machine-gunned the lightships.
What Miss Eversley wants to do...
I know what she wants to do. I brought the forms. We've been dealing with legacies for 150 years.
Mother wanted...
Mother had a husband back, didn't she? I lost my husband and only son to the sea.
Well, if I'd known that you were coming, Mrs. Grayle, I'd have found that photograph of the ship.
Was it before she broke in half or after?
I don't know.
Well, what you give, I should have thought, depends on your personal gratitude and those of the Eldon Castle. We need every penny we can get, you know. Every penny. Smokes.
Mother remembered Animal, Mr. Morgan, as a boy hanging around the lifeboat slip. Yes, we used to hear him running whenever the maroons went off. There goes Animal, Mother used to say, but she'd never met him.
Why haven't we called that now for years? I rescued a horse once. The others couldn't cope. But I got away with horses.
In financial matters, it's best to approach those who understand how the institution works. You haven't filled in the amount. And the bank for reference. Billy John told me you got the name from the way you ate on the boat. Nothing to do with horses. Well, then, I think we can take a cup of something now, don't you? In the circumstances.
No more bets, please. 26, black.
I'd almost given up this morning.
Given up what?
Everything.
You've just been telling me old dogs can bark. You've been saying it all night.
That's because I've just discovered it. Come on in. You can phone from the bar.
It's up to me whether I phone or not.
Well, old dogs do better in the warm. It's something to do with the small of the back.
I've been out there all the morning and I can't get a peep out of the engine. It won't fire.
Well, can't you put something on the engine?
No! It'll have to be stripped and bled.
Oh, Well, can't you do that out there?
What do you think I am, an orangutan? It's a shore job. Anyway, the old lady have put the block on it.
Why?
I think she's been digging up old stuff about this guy Yeoman. Jinx, she reckons. His brother drowned years ago, I don't know. And he's nervous enough in a boat. Anyway, she don't want me near it. You know what she's like.
Well, I've got to get that engine working by the end of the week. Who can we get?
Well, it's going to cost, whichever way you look at it, isn't it?
Well, who can we get off the lifeboat? Cheap.
Well, there's Animal Morgan. He's on holiday this week.
Well, you can tell Auntie Nance not to worry. You won't be involved at all. You can't go in there in your working clothes. There's food being handled.
What's all this, then?
I'll tell you the truth, Jack. I got full up to here with myself. I knew what you were thinking.
What was I thinking?
He's lost his bottle.
Not me, I never said that.
No, you were great anyway. But I reckon I got to pull myself out of it. And the first thing to do is get fit.
Chest pain's gone?
All in the mind.
So you don't want to quit now?
Another month, I'll be after your job, boy.
Well, you won't be the first.
Going to beat me, my handsome.
You'll find you've got an excellent man this time. But I think it's only fair to tell you, I have got a couple of other buyers interested. I shall want a decision today.
You'll get one.
I remember all the fishing marks. Every rock along back sides, as we used to say.
How come you changed your name to Yeoman, then?
A clean break, I thought. It was my fault my brother was drowned. We didn't have a proper anchor, flares, anything. I never took risks after that. Never.
You sure you want to buy the boat, are you? You're not just having a bucksheet ride?
If the price is right. And the engines. I don't know much about engines.
Oh, well, on a yacht, you've always got sails. I thought you had the sails in there. It's a hell of a weight.
They were in a navy blue bag, much larger.
What you got in there, then?
Well, practically everything else necessary to survive.
Oh, it's all right today. Not a bubble on the water. Isn't it marvelous? Like human beings they are. Tell you what, we'll give it one more chance, and if it don't go then, 2-minute silence, and we'll throw the bloody thing overboard.
Don't you understand? My brother's drowned here. I want him drift away from me.
Get your gear on. You're coming with me.
Engine failure. Sorry to have troubled you. We forgot the sails.
We? It was that git. He fired it, not me. I didn't know he was doing it.
Could I have your full name, please, sir? And a contribution would be appreciated. Voluntary, of course.
Not much doubt about it this time, Harry. You by yourself. But you didn't run for the Maroons.
I couldn't. I just couldn't. I won't be able to again either. I'm finished.
We'll get you in the hospital.
The ambulance came and you're out. I saw the doctor. There's no doubt it was a heart attack.
Rick went in a heart attack.
Yes.
He was full of himself the other day. Didn't see the doctor. I found out later the doctor said there was nothing wrong with him. He was imagining things.
Yes, there was no doubt, I'm afraid. Had to be revived in the ambulance. It was touch and go.
So he was right at the beginning. Good old Harry. I'll go and tell the boys.
Yes. They'll have to choose a new second coxswain.
soon as I heard the name, I remembered. The boat that your boy was drowned in, they stole. And that's what Luke wanted to do, to steal and cheat. You're the same, no backbone. You and Harry Quentin, same thing, cheating. A moment's happiness, it's nothing of the kind.
I didn't know he was ill.
Oh, it makes no difference. I know what was troubling him. He wanted to give up. Do you think I haven't felt that? Where do you think I'd have been if I had the will to go on? You've done one thing anyway. You've come to me. What they don't realize is that we might not have a boat here much longer.
A lifeboat?
There isn't a shipping about, there was. You're sure it was a real heart attack?
Yes.
Changes then. And where you're concerned, it can't be but for the better. Luke, is that you? You take your time in answering? I want you up here straight away. No, now, if you please. What concerns me is that we've had too many of these comic cuts rescues. Next time, there might be a real blow.